You think you know your family until you realize you never did. The gas station attendant looked at me with that pitying stare. Your son really did that to you, boss? And there I was, 58 years old, dumped at a rest stop on I-95 in the middle of rural South Carolina. No wallet, no phone, no keys. Abandoned by my own son. How does life turn out this way? My name is Sergio. I'm 58. I'm from just outside Rochester, New York. You know, Kodak, Wegmans, tough winters. I spent 30 years of my life on the road, sales rep for farm equipment, tractors, combines, that sort of thing. I know every back road in the Northeast, every farm. I wasn't just selling parts. I was building trust. I lived by my handshake, my word. It was everything to me. I'm a widower. I lost my wife, Martha, 5 years ago. Cancer. It was fast, too fast. She was the anchor of our home, the light, and she was the one who managed the books. I was the guy on the road. She was the foundation. Since she passed, my whole focus became my only son, Dennis. He's 32 now. I built my life on the asphalt, driving, eating lunch out of a cooler in my truck, sleeping in roadside motels. It was never easy, but I made it. I built a good life, an honest life. I'm a guy, or at least I was, a guy who trusted people, maybe trusted them too much, especially family. Because look, family was always everything to me. The promise I made to Martha on her deathbed was that I'd take care of Dennis, that he'd never be left wanting, and I took that promise deadly seriously. Dennis? Yeah, Dennis is a good kid. Deep down, I think he is. But soft, always was. Martha, she saw it. She tried to be firm, but I always coddled him. Leave him be, Martha. He's learning, but he never learned. He started 2 different colleges, didn't finish either. Ah, Dad, it's not for me. I paid for it, every cent. His first car, just a little Ford Fiesta. I gave it to him. He totaled it 6 months later. It was an accident, Dad. Always an accident. Then he met Tanya. I don't want to be unfair, but from the first day, I saw it. He brought her over for lunch. She looked at the house, looked at the car in the garage, and then she smiled at me. You must be Sergio. Dennis talks so much about you, says you're so generous. Her eyes were sparkling, but not for him. It was for what I could provide. She's 10 years younger than him. Pretty, sharp, a little too sharp. Dad, this is Tanya. She likes nice things. He said it, laughing, like it was a virtue. I paid for the wedding, a party I couldn't afford. Ah, Dad, it's her dream, and I paid, and so it went. But for you to understand how we got here, I need to go back a bit. After Martha passed, I clung to him. Normal, right? But he and she started to pull away. At first it was subtle. I'd call, Dad, I'm busy. I'll call you later. And he wouldn't call. Sunday dinners. Martha always insisted on them. A full house. After she was gone, I tried to keep it up, but then it was always an excuse. Ah, Dad, Tanya has a headache. Ah, Dad, we made plans to go to the mall. Ah, Dad, not today. Things like that. Replies to my texts, blunt. Okay. Later. I'd stare at the phone, wondering if I should send another message, but why? To be ignored again? Me, here in Rochester, and him living in an apartment I paid the rent on for 2 years in the same city. Then Tanya got pregnant. I thought, this is it, now he'll grow up, he's going to be a father. But it was the opposite, you see. The needs just got bigger. Dad, the rent is late. Dad, can you spot me the health insurance? Dad, Tanya's having cravings. She wants to take a trip. And I, the fool, I paid. I was keeping my promise to Martha, but the disrespect came with it. I'd go to visit. The house, a mess. They treated me, I don't know, like an unwanted guest. Tanya wouldn't even come out of the bedroom. Dennis, on his phone. Dad, you want coffee? Go ahead and get it from the kitchen, you know where it is. In the house I was paying for. Go figure. Then the story about the condo in Clearwater started. This condo belonged to Martha, inherited from her parents. A nice place right on the beach. We used to go every New Year's. Martha loved that place. She said the salt air there could cure anything. It didn't cure her, but anyway. The condo is worth good money, $350,000 easily, and it was just sitting there, empty. I didn't have the heart to rent it. It was her memory. And then Dennis and Tanya got fixated. Dad, it's just sitting there. It's costing money, Dad. Property tax, HOA fees. Tanya especially. Sergio, you don't even use it. Just sign it over to Dennis. We'll take care of it. We'll rent it out. I said no. Once. Twice. 10 times. Dennis, that condo is your mother's memory. It's not for sale. It's not for rent. It's not for anything. It's mine. End of story. But they don't know how to take no for an answer. Look, I know I'm venting here. Sounds like I'm just crying in my beer, right? But it's my life, and I'm grateful to this channel for giving me the space. Because trust me, holding all this in, it's not easy. Hearing other stories here gave me the courage to tell mine. So if you're listening, stick around. Because the story, it gets worse. A lot worse, before it gets better. And then things just kept getting worse. Slowly, but they did. After I said no to the condo, the mood soured completely. Dennis stopped calling me to ask for favors. He just stopped calling, period. I'd call, it'd go to voicemail. I'd send a text. Son, is everything okay? 2-3 hours later, a reply would come. Yes, that's it. Yes. I found out they had a barbecue at their building. My brother-in-law, Martha's brother, Larry, lives nearby. He was invited. I wasn't. I only found out later. Dad, it was a last-minute thing. You wouldn't have liked it. It was all young people. Me, his father, 58 years old, an old man, wouldn't have liked it. Then came my birthday. I've always been low-key, but Martha, she'd bake a cake. We'd have dinner together. It was our date. Dennis knew that. I called him a week before. Son, what are we doing for my birthday? Silence. Dad, Tanya she's got the flu. I don't think we can do anything. We'll stop by next weekend. I swallowed hard. Okay, son, take care of yourselves. The day came. A Saturday. I made some pasta for myself, alone, cracked a beer, watched some TV. The phone never rang, not even a happy birthday text. Nothing. On Sunday, I couldn't stand it. I drove to their apartment, unannounced. I rang the bell. Tanya answered. She was wearing makeup, dressed to go out. The music was loud inside. Sergio, Dennis isn't here. I heard his voice inside. Who is it, babe? Her face. She didn't even try to hide her annoyance. It's your dad. I told him you're not here. And she closed the door. In my face. Just like that. I stood in that hallway for about 5 minutes, listening to him laughing inside. The humiliation, it wasn't anger, no, it was an emptiness. But it wasn't just that. They started to invade, to take over. I came home one day after a short sales trip to Syracuse. The living room sofa, the one Martha picked out, was gone. There was this black pleather thing in its place. Ugly. What is this? Dad. Surprise. Tanya thought the living room was dated. This one is more modern. And your mother's sofa, Dennis. Dad. It was old. The store took it as part of the trade-in. Trade-in? What payment? We put it on a plan, Dad. In your name. We found one of your old checkbooks in the drawer. I lost my breath. They used my name, forged my signature, to replace the sofa in my own house. I had to go to the store, pay for the new sofa just to get mine, Martha's sofa, back. It was a nightmare. But the worst was at the dealership. I needed to trade in my truck, my work truck. It already had 200,000 miles on it. Dennis, Dad, let me come with you. I know about cars. He always wanted to be the expert. And I, like an idiot wanting to reconnect, I agreed. We went to look at a new pickup. Me, him, and Tanya. We get there. The salesman, a young guy, is treating me really well. Mr. Sergio, this one is heavy duty, for your work. And Dennis cuts him off. No, my dad doesn't need that. He's old. He's about to retire. I wasn't even thinking about retiring. He doesn't have the reflexes for a truck anymore. And Tanya chimes in. It's true, father-in-law. Get a Kia Rio. Something cheap so you don't spend, and then there's more left for us, right? She laughed at the salesman. The poor guy didn't know where to look. I felt my face burning. Dennis, I'm the one paying. I'm the one driving. And then he let it fly. In front of the salesman. In front of everyone. Oh, Dad, are you going to start with the old man lecture? All you have is money. You don't have anything else. If it wasn't for me and Tanya to take care of you, you'd be all alone. I froze. The salesman looked at the floor. I turned around. Thank you, son. I'll come back another day. I walked out of the dealership. He came after me. Dad, what's wrong? It was a joke. Can't you take a joke anymore? I didn't say a word. We drove home in silence, but right there I saw it. I wasn't his father anymore. I was an ATM, and an old ATM, that they were desperate to replace. But there was one day, one specific day, that changed everything. It was about 2 weeks after that. I was stewing. disappointed. Then the phone rings. It's Dennis. His voice, soft. Dad, sorry about the other day. I was an idiot. Tanya's even here crying. She feels so bad. Me, with my soft father's heart. It's okay, son, it's past. And then he laid it on. So, Dad, to make it up to you, I was thinking, I found this investment opportunity down in Clearwater. A fund, a new development, near Mom's condo. What do you say we drive down, check out this deal and, I don't know, spend the day at the beach like the old days? My heart skipped a beat. The old days? I wanted to believe it. You understand? I wanted my son back. Of course, son. Let's go. When? Tomorrow. I'll pick you up early. He showed up. I had my truck. Let's take my car, Dad. It's more comfortable. I thought that was odd. He never wanted to drive my car. Ah, now I get it. He didn't want to drive. He wanted me to drive my truck, to make sure I was there, hun, with the truck and the keys. Okay, we went. Me driving, him in the passenger seat. The whole way. He was strange, on his phone, whispering to Tanya. Everything's set, babe. Relax. It'll be quick. I'd ask, everything okay, son? All good, Dad. Just work. Work. He's never worked a day in his life. We got onto the highway, down near South Carolina. That long, empty stretch. Semis everywhere. Suddenly he starts. A full performance. Dad, I feel sick. He put his hand on his stomach. I'm really nauseous. Must have been the coffee. Pull over at the next rest stop, please. I need air, quick. He looked pale. Was it makeup? I don't know. I got scared. I saw a sign for a rest stop. A real rundown-looking place, you know, on the side of the highway. Hang on, son. We're stopping. I barely put the truck in park before he threw the door open and ran. Bathroom, water, be right back. I stayed in the truck, turned off the engine, waited. The smell of diesel, the sound of the semis roaring by. I looked at the clock. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The attendant, an older guy in greasy overalls, came to look at me. Strange. I just gave him the "it's okay" wave. 15 minutes. The panic started to hit. Dennis isn't one to take that long. Is he really sick? Or did he get mugged in the bathroom? I got out of the truck, went to the bathroom. A single filthy door. Nobody. Went to the little convenience store. A woman at the register. Ma'am, did you see a young guy look like this? No, sir, just the attendant out front. My stomach turned to ice. I ran back to the truck. The passenger door was ajar. I looked at the seat. His phone? Gone. My phone? I'd left it on the charger. Where was it? Gone. I checked the glove compartment, where I kept my wallet. Empty. I went to start the truck. Instinct. Put my hand to the ignition. Where's the key? He had the spare key. The original was in my pocket, but when he got out, he'd snatched the key from the ignition, and he took my wallet, my phone, and the spare key. He left me there, with nothing, not a single dollar. The attendant walked over. You all right, boss? My hand was shaking. My son, I couldn't speak. And then the attendant said it, the line. Your son really did that to you, boss. That look of pity, that was the worst part. Worse than the theft, the humiliation. You know what went through my head? I just stood there. I don't know how long. I sat on the curb. The attendant brought me a cup of water. Easy, Chief. That ain't human. And all I could think about was Martha. The day Dennis was born. I was on the road, near Syracuse. The phone rang. It was the hospital. Your wife's in labor. I dropped everything, got in the car, and flew. I made it just in time. I held him in my arms. That tiny little thing. I cried. I swore right there to myself and to Martha that this boy would have everything I never did, that I would protect him. Protect him. Look at this joke. I remembered something else. When he was about 15, he wanted a bike. A Schwinn 10-speed. Expensive. I was tight on cash, sales were slow, I worked overtime, I doubled my routes. I spent 20 days straight on the road, sleeping in the car to save up the money. When I got home, with the bike in the truck bed, the look in his eyes. Dad, you're the best in the world. Where did that boy go? And then I remembered Martha, in the hospital, the last few days. She was weak. Dennis was on the side, on his phone, always on his phone. She grabbed my hand. Sergio, take care of him. I said, of course, my love. And she squeezed my hand. No, listen, take care of him, but don't let him drain you. She saw it. She always saw. He's weak, Sergio. not evil. Weak and weakness. Weakness is dangerous. Promise me, you'll take care of yourself too. I didn't understand the warning. I thought she was delirious. She wasn't. That's when I realized I wasn't helpless. Dennis, he thought I was a dumb old man, a country salesman from Rochester who doesn't understand money. He thought that by leaving me there with nothing I'd be desperate, that I'd call him begging for help, and then he'd be the savior. He'd rescue me. In exchange, of course, for signing the transfer papers for the Clearwater condo. He thought that condo was all I had. It was his golden goose. He just didn't know one thing. I might be quiet. I might be a farm equipment salesman, but I'm not an idiot. I spent 30 years putting money away. Martha was frugal. I learned from her. Besides that condo in Clearwater, worth that $350,000, I have my house in Rochester, a good house in a good neighborhood, worth $400,000 easy. And the most important part, the part I never told anyone, not even him, I have $200,000 in investments, in CDs, in mutual funds, money that wasn't luck. It was discipline. Every big commission, 10% went into savings, then into a CD. Mr. Benson, my bank manager, taught me, Sergio, pay yourself first. My father's farm. I sold it back in 2005. I could have bought a new truck, a place at the beach. But Martha, save it, Sergio, for our old age. I saved it. Dennis thought I lived commission to commission. He didn't know I had a foundation, that I had roots. Dennis thought he was leaving me with nothing on the side of the road. He had no idea he'd only stolen the pocket change, and that was the turning point. There, sitting on the curb of that gas station, the despair turned into anger. No, not anger. It was coldness, a clarity I'd never had. That little boy I held in my arms, he didn't exist anymore. The man who left me there was a stranger, a criminal. And you don't negotiate with criminals, you protect yourself, that's it. The end of Sergio the doormat dad, and that was it. I decided to move, but in silence. I borrowed the phone at the gas station. I called my brother-in-law, Larry, Martha's brother. He lives in Savannah. Larry, it's me, Sergio. I need help. I'm stuck at this rest stop. I told him the basics. It took him 2 hours to get there. 2 hours that felt like 2 years. He saw me, didn't ask questions. Let's get out of here. He took me to his house. I didn't say a word the whole way. Silent. My mind racing. Larry, can I borrow your phone? And I need a lawyer. The next day, I didn't call Dennis. I didn't answer the 30 missed calls from him, because of course he must have called. Dad, where'd you go? Faking concern. The first thing I did, I went to a notary in Savannah. Good morning. I need to revoke a power of attorney, any and all, in the name of Dennis. Are you sure, sir? Absolutely. The second thing, I called my bank manager, Mr. Benson, an old friend. Benson, good morning. Sergio here. I need you to block all access Dennis has to my accounts, any, and change all the passwords. Did something happen, Sergio? It did, Benson. I'll tell you later. Just do it. The third, I called my lawyer in Rochester, Mr. Matthews. Mr. Matthews, good morning. I need an urgent consultation. I need to change my will. The silence on the line. Sergio, did what I always warned you would happen? Happen? Worse, counselor. Worse. Right. His voice was calm. Sergio, this isn't the time for, I told you so. It's time to act. What do you want to do? I want to protect what's mine. What was Martha's? A will, Sergio, that's first. Now, New York law makes it difficult to completely disinherit a child. They can challenge it. There's no guarantee. He'll get his lawyers. But the part of the estate you can control, your disposable portion, we lock that down. You can leave it to the Pope if you want. And the condo, revoking the POA was the first step. You did that. Now, we sell, fast, before he tries to have you declared incompetent. Incompetent? My stomach turned. A son who wants to steal from his elderly parent, Sergio, it's the oldest trick in the book. They'll claim you're senile, depressed from grief, wasting the inheritance. That filled me with disgust. Let's sell, counselor, let's sell everything. It didn't take long, he found out. I went back to Rochester. I stayed at my brother-in-law's house for 3 days, just to think. The phone? I bought a new one, new number. I didn't give it to anyone, just my lawyer and my bank. Dennis must have been losing his mind. His plan failed. He left me at the rest stop, and I vanished. He couldn't rescue me. He couldn't force me to sign. He lost control. And then he did what he always does when he's desperate. He went after the money. He showed up at my house in Rochester. I wasn't there. He called the realtor, the one he had already hired, behind my back, to sell the Clearwater condo. The realtor in Clearwater, Claudio, called me. "Mr. Sergio, it's Claudio. Listen, your son Dennis is here at the office, with a client. He's yelling, saying you revoked the power of attorney. What do I do?" I took a deep breath. "Claudio, do this. Tell him the owner is no longer interested in selling, and if he doesn't leave, you'll call the police." Claudio chuckled. "Understood, Mr. Sergio. Leave it to me." Dennis, according to what the realtor told me later, turned white, pale. Then he came. He and Tanya. They showed up at my house in Rochester. I had just gotten back. I was sitting on the porch, drinking a coffee, waiting, because I knew he'd come. He slammed on the brakes, got out, slamming the car door. Tanya followed with that funeral procession look on her face. He didn't even say good morning. And then it was time. The moment he'd have to face me. He stopped in front of me, red-faced. "Dad, you disappeared. Where were you? We were worried sick." Tanya put on a crying face. "Yes, Sergio. We nearly died of worry." I just looked at them. I stood up slowly, put my cup on the table. "Worried?" Dennis. "Yes, you vanish. You don't answer your phone. And you revoked my power of attorney." "Why?" "The realtor called me. I was closing a great deal for us." "For us, Dennis? Or for you?" He choked. "Dad, what do you mean?" "I was where you left me, Dennis. At the rest stop, in South Carolina." The silence. Tanya stopped pretending to cry. "Dennis," he tried. "Dad, that was a misunderstanding. I really felt sick. I went back to get you and you were gone. I thought you'd caught a bus. You took my wallet, Dennis. My phone. And the truck key. You abandoned me on the highway like a dog to force me to give you your mother's condo." Tanya tried. "Sergio, that's not—" "Shut up, Tanya. I'm talking to him." She flinched, but I saw the hatred in her eyes. "You don't talk to me like that. I'm pregnant. You'll pay for this abuse." Dennis, his tone changed. The desperation turned to rage. "So that's it? You're going to disinherit me? Is that it? After everything I've done for you?" I almost laughed. "Everything you've done? What have you done, Dennis? Besides mooch off me for 32 years, besides forging my signature to sell your mother's sofa?" He turned pale. He wasn't expecting that. "Dad, I was going to pay you back. I was going to take the condo money, invest it. I was going to double it. You don't understand modern investments. All you know how to do is save. I was going to make us rich." "Rich, Dennis? Or were you going to blow it all on cars, trips, and handbags for her?" He screamed. "I took care of you, me and Tanya. You're an ungrateful old man." "I'm not ungrateful, Dennis. I'm free. It's over. Your mother's condo. You're not selling it. You're not selling her memory." And then I delivered the final blow. "In fact, the condo is already sold." He froze. "Ooh, what? Sold?" "I sold it yesterday. And the house in Rochester. This house. It's for sale too. The realtor is coming tomorrow." "You can't do this. What about me? What am I going to live on?" "You're going to work, Dennis, like I did my entire life." "But, and Tanya, she's pregnant. You're going to do this to your own grandchild?" Ah, the grandchild, the last card. That child, yet I hope he's healthy. But he's not mine, he's yours, and you two are going to take care of him. "You're a monster." "No, Dennis, I'm just tired." I went inside. I closed the door, and I locked it. He pounded on the door. He screamed. He cursed. Tanya was crying and yelling that I would pay. I went to the kitchen, I made another pot of coffee, and that was that. He lost, and that was it. Simple as that. I sold the condo in Clearwater. I sold it fast. Got $340,000 for it. I sold the house in Rochester. A house too big for just me. Got $380,000. I added it to the $200,000 I had saved. It came out to a good amount. It gave me my peace. Dennis, he and Tanya, they're renting in a much smaller place. I think he's driving for Uber. In the car I gave him, of course. He tried, his lawyer, tried to nullify the sale of the house, tried to have me declared incompetent, claimed squandering of assets due to grief. 5 years later. Mr. Matthews, he destroyed that argument in 10 minutes. The judge looked at Dennis. "Son, your father worked his entire life. The money is his. He can spend it however he wants. and from where I'm sitting, he's more lucid than both of us combined. My brother-in-law, Larry, that's family. He backed me on everything. He testified in court. Your Honor, Sergio, he's not just my brother-in-law, he's my brother. What this kid did, it was disgusting. My sister, Martha, if she were alive, she would die of shame. Dennis left the courtroom without even looking at me. Today, looking back, and me, where am I? I'm in Clearwater. I bought a condo here, a smaller place, 2 bedrooms, but it's on the beach, the same ocean Martha loved. I wake up every day. I drink my coffee on the balcony. I look at the water. I take my walk. I've started fishing again, something I haven't done since Dennis was little. My will? It's done. Mr. Matthews handled it. The law is a frustrating thing, isn't it? After all this, his lawyers could still drag this through the courts for years, claiming I wasn't in my right mind, eating up the estate in legal fees. So, we've structured it. He'll get what the law basically forces me to give him to make the challenge go away. I have to follow the law, but the other 50%, the half that I get to choose, that is going entirely, every cent, to a local charity for the elderly here in Clearwater, people who maybe have children just like mine. Dennis calls me every day. Tanya sends pictures. The baby was born. They named him Hugo. They didn't even ask me. I look at the picture. The boy, he's just a boy. It's not his fault. Does it hurt? Of course it hurts. He's my blood. But I can't. You understand? I can't open that door. If I open it, Tanya comes in too. Dennis comes in too. And they'll just do it all over again. Love can't be a life sentence. And I've served my time. I'm not a monster. I'm a survivor. I lost a son, but I gained my peace. And waking up, looking at the ocean, knowing that nobody is going to steal from me ever again, knowing that I have control of my own life. That peace, my friend, that peace is priceless. Thank you for listening to me. Really, if you're going through something similar, stand up for yourself. Set your boundaries, because trust me, nobody else is going to do it for you. Leave a comment. What would you have done in my place? Take care and look after yourselves.